What's up, guys? It's UMP Universe. This is going to be my redirect review thing for Glaciator. Link in the description below for the reaction, and come back if you feel like listening to this man ramble about random things about this random episode that he randomly watched at a random point in time. Now, the Glaciator is an episode that I believe should have came out earlier, if not part of the beginning phases of this season, because as I said in the previous installments of this review series, is that, well, the episode direction of the season is a little whacked. They showcase in this episode that his ice cream is special in a way, that he's actually kind of clairvoyant in love, and how whatever he makes the ice cream out of which flavors is supposed to be the description of the person that is meant for you. And not to mention a character who shows up looking like having Adrian's like clothing, but not Adrian. So I found in the back of my head, I thought that was weird, but I didn't want to really like talk about it that much. But then later down in the season, you see who that person is and why he dresses like that. So I also believe the Glaciator and that episode I'm talking about should have been in the beginning stages of the season, before the other episodes that I reviewed and watched came out. Now, hold on. Going in there, Glaciator himself is a pretty interesting character. I forgot his name. I know I'm only about to recognize his name at this point, but he's an interesting character. I like how it does have some sort of clairvoyance, giving Marinette the ice cream that pretty much fits the description of Adrian, and later down in the end of the episode, Adrian gets ice cream that is reminiscent to the same color scheme as Marinette. So clearly, even in his eyes, they are meant to be together. It's just that they will never be together until one of them either reveals their identity to them, or they drop their current relationships. Adrian / Cat Noir drops their love for Ladybug, and Ladybug / Marinette drops their love for Adrian, so they can find new people and go with each other, despite the fact they will be going with each other the other way around, so on and so forth. So, well, that being said, while we do get the Akumanized person before the 10-minute mark, he doesn't really start doing much until later down the line with the main characters in general. Now, how he gets Akumanized brings up the fact again. Marinette was the reason why he gets Akumanized. It's because of her negativity and because of her depression at that point of not getting what she wants, being Adrian, is what puts him in this sour mood. And it makes sense. It's like he's been doing this business for a long time, and so far he had a pretty much 100% track record of love being a thing with his ice cream. So when he sees how it seems to have failed, it really takes a damper on your spirit, especially at that time. He's been sitting there for a while, almost looked like hours, just contemplating the fact that his ice cream wasn't able to help a person who's fighting for love. And I have to say again, man, it's not your fault. She's just hopeless when it comes to trying to get to Adrian. Like, and I guess that's another reason why I don't like Marinette's side of why I don't like Marinette's side of the love conspiracy between Cat Noir and Ladybug and stuff like that, is because she wants to be with Adrian. She wants Adrian to like her. She wants to be in a relationship, but it seems as though she can't handle a relationship with him, because if she can't even spend a minute and a half without fumbling over her words, how can she actually maintain a real relationship with the guy? If she's gonna like puke in the soup when they go out for dinner, if she just like runs away anytime Adrian offers her a ride in his car, it's like, how do you do that? I get shyness. I get being nervous around the person that you like, but you can't be in a relationship with that person if you cannot be actually with that person and see them on a equal level, right? So, which is why I appreciated the Cat Noir side of this, and how he said, hey, I'm having a special occasion for you. Hopefully you would come. And you know, he in the back of his head, it's like, maybe she won't, but he's trying. And I appreciate that so much for this character. I appreciate it so much. And I appreciate that. And then he brings Marinette over to it, and then Marinette sees in Cat Noir's side that he really, truly, it's not just a bit that he's trying to put up. He's not just being flirtatious for the sake of being flirtatious. He's being flirtatious because he likes you. So, and he's willing to go above and beyond for you. and how he's able to showcase that with this nice little candlelit area, it really intrigued me. I really like that. I really like that side. And then Marinette gets there, and then Ladybug and then the Ladybug sees that he's really upset and this really got to him. And then she's finally able to tell him that the reason why she's unable to go with his advances is because she's currently in love with this guy that she's not going to tell him about, because I'm pretty sure. Tell me this. In the scenario where he's like, who is it that you like? And she says, it's a boy named Adrian. What would Cat Noir do? What would he do? I want to know that. Because it's not like they know each other's identity. It's not like they know each other's identity. It's the fact that the reason why Cat Noir can't get with Ladybug is because Ladybug is in love with his alter ego. It's like, that would be another interesting dynamic, but I see why they didn't do it, because again, maybe save it for another time or something else is supposed to happen. But that would have been an interesting dynamic I would have liked to see, and I see why they try to avoid that. But Cat Noir now knows he's not going to stop being flirtatious. He just knows that it's fruitless until later down the line. And maybe, hopefully, that whatever this crush that she has on this guy can at some point dissipate, and then he'll still be there for her. And I like that. See, another reason I'm talking about the relationship aspect to this, because that's what keeps me interested in this series. I like it. It's good. Now on to the Glaciator himself. After getting his spirit crushed by Marinette at that point, he gets Akumanize, and then his ability is that he's pretty big and he can freeze anyone with just a simple shot from his ice cream. I found it interesting that we go from the grandma, who kind of had the same ability, only with coal, to this person whose only difference is he cannot fly. He just has the bigger aspect to him, and he's kind of like a Titan in Attack on Titan. You can attack the legs, you can attack the arms, you can attack everything, every part of the body. But since you're not attacking the actual person that's inside the Titan, you're not going to do much to it. It will constantly heal, and you can't really do anything about it. So unless you attack where the person is located inside the body, you're not going to get anywhere. So in Titans, it's the nape of the neck, and for his case, it's in like the portion of a stomach. So interesting enough how they wanted to do that as an aspect instead of him just becoming the giant ice cream creature, and that's how they really were able to take him out. The only thing that really was helping him win was the discourse that Cat Noir and Ladybug were having at that moment, from Cat Noir's heart being a little bit crushed in that aspect. I like and I also like, and even though I forget if it was last review or the previous review. Oh, sorry. Before that was it was a robustness. It doesn't matter how good in your heart that you believe to be. Once you're Akumanized, you have so much negative emotion that you can barely have anyone talk you out of a certain scenario that you're currently in. You'll have a mindset that you've had since you've been Akumanized, and so it makes it almost nearly impossible for you to go back to the good side just through words alone. But in this case, it's like, even though the Ice Cream Man's priorities were to get at Marinette and, freeze those who are not in a relationship and stuff like that, he still had the underlying emotion factor that he has when people are a couple. When people are a couple, he just can't help but see how precious it is for people to be together. And I when saying it like that, it's like, he's so precious. I love him. So so being able to get in close, if it wasn't for Marinette and Adrian at that point pretending to be a couple like that, well, technically Cat Noir and Ladybug, I have to make sure to always say the alter ego just in case no one gets confused. Are pretending to be a couple. They were able to get a good cheap shot on him to see how his body actually works, seeing that he's not actually a gelatinous figure of ice cream, but he is actually in there somewhere, and being able to come up with an idea, aka the whole clotheslining thing, and wrapping him up, being able to actually heal from that sort of stuff, like instantly regenerate from that kind of damage, instantly works out. So good enough on that end. Like this episode for the relationship dynamic and how it really showcased how Cat Noir really feels about Ladybug, and how Marinette is kind of conflicted and torn on the fact that she doesn't want to play with this dude's heart, but she doesn't. She just really wants to get with Adrian. But the whole thing is, she's really making it hard for me to see that she legitimately wants to be in a relationship with this guy when she's hardly taking the necessary steps that you need to take to get into a relationship with a person. Because at this point, you're taking so long to get in a relationship with a guy that it's highly probable that this guy could find someone completely different from you that actually will take the steps to go. It's kind of like the Sam Manson, and it's kind of like the Sam and Danny thing in Danny Phantom. It's like Sam always liked Danny for a long time, that sort of thing. And Danny did not know because he is a guy, and if you don't tell a guy that you like him, it's highly probable he's not gonna like you back the same way. Just saying. And then you have the other girl. I don't remember her name, but then she becomes like a Green Goblin like character later down the line with an awesome suit. I don't remember her name, but I'm not gonna attempt it. Just know she existed, and she said something pretty like bar none fact for a girl who's too busy being like divisive in telling the guy that they like them. If you do not step up, somebody will. And I'm afraid for Marinette on that. I don't know if they're going to have that type of dynamic. They already sort of had a dynamic with Marinette, with Luca that comes later down the line. But that's just it. She's going to get heartbroken, and it's going to be her own fault. And I'm afraid for that. So there you go. To end things off, as the creativity factor of the power. The power, pretty overpowered when it comes to the freezing aspect. It's kind of like Dr. Freeze or Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze. Dr. Freeze from Batman, and you can just get instantly frozen, and you're just done. As for the creativity level, a giant ice cream creature. It's a big ice cream creature. It's not so much creative, and you know the power itself can be replicated pretty easily. But interesting enough, I have to say, this is better. I will say it's better than the giant baby. And the percentage of actually getting it, it really depends. How does the freezing process work? Because when he ever shoots somebody, they kind of just like turn into ice cream, it looks like, and not just like frozen. They're just kind of like the cold thing, that all of them are frozen. So does that mean the Miraculous also gets completely frozen, or what's up? So again, not entirely sure about that. So his percentage of getting it is very 50 iffy. So there you go. A good episode nonetheless. If I had to improve it, have it be so that this monster that he actually did become it. He actually did become it. He can control the level of freeze complexity that he does. So if he wants to freeze like your legs only, he can do that. If you want to freeze like your arms, that'll have a better opportunity to get the Miraculous. And he can go in and out of this form, so he can get into like tighter spaces with his actual form, and then if he needs to, he can get big with his bigger form and stuff like that, and also have a better chance of not getting off guard because he can change his size. So that's pretty much it. So this is the Universe. See you next time. Bye.